Hi beautiful souls! It's Tam here today with another Saturn tips video, and today we're going to do Saturn in the 6th house. So I have made a video on Saturn in the 6th house, kind of going through the karmic cycles of having Saturn here. So if you haven't seen that video, I highly recommend that you watch that first. So links up above and in the description box below. So you can click to watch that video and then come back here. So you can get a more, holistic understanding of having Saturn in the 6th house. Saturn in Virgo or Capricorn ruling the 6th house. So if you've watched that one, you can come back and watch this video. And the first tip that I have for having Saturn in the 6th house, or Saturn in Virgo or Capricorn ruling the 6th house, is to do a detox program. Because, Saturn in the 6th house really has this reputation for working too hard, for being a workaholic, shall we say. And when that happens, what actually happens to your body is that there's a lot of stress in your body. Sometimes, your immunity goes a bit out of whack. The body accumulates, tension. And a lot of times when people, overwork, they have to take in lots of substances that may not be healthy for their body, like caffeine. But sometimes it also means that you're not eating enough nutritious foods, or you're kind of eating junk food too, because you don't have enough time within a day to have a proper meal, right? So this requires a bit of a detox to sort of purify all the stuff that your body has accumulated. And going through a detox also kind of boosts your energy. And it kind of cleanses your livers and your kidneys as well, because they're not working so hard anymore. And a lot of the times, I don't know about you guys, but there's some people out there who, when they have to drink a lot of coffee, their kidneys kind of overworking, or they're not eating the right kinds of foods, their liver is kind of out of whack. And so this gets your kidneys and your livers to relax and to sort of take a bit of a break. And of course, detoxing your body also improves your immunity, and it really helps you to clear your mind. Because the 6th house rules that mind-body-soul connection. If you can clear your body, you can clear your mind, you can clear your soul. If you can clear your soul, you get the idea. So there's different ways that you can detox. You can go on a juice cleanse. You can fast. Fasting is actually, a really, really good strategy that you can do, but there's a couple of techniques that you have to take into consideration when you are fasting. And you want to do it the right way, so you want to do a bit of research before that. 6th house, Virgo research. So, because when you're going to fast, you kind of have to, it's better if you sort of get rid of a couple of things that you usually eat on a daily basis, step by step, meaning that first you can, get rid of sugar, and then the next, few days you get rid of caffeine, and the next few days you get rid of meat, and then you start to fast, things like that. So it's not like, don't go cold turkey on it. Or this can just mean getting away from your normal daily routine, getting away from the city life, being in nature, being alone for a while, things like that. The second tip that I have for Saturn in the 6th house, Saturn in Virgo, or Capricorn ruling the 6th house, is to use your time wisely. The best thing that you can do to use your time wisely is to not do something if it feels emotionally draining. Meaning that if you don't feel excited, passionate, or energized to do the things that you're about to do, especially if you have to do it for the whole day, you probably shouldn't do it. There are other options out there for you to do something that you feel energetic doing. Because the moment that you're doing something that you're not energetic to do in the first place, or you're not passionate to do in the first place, you're either gonna not be as efficient or productive, or you're taking the energy away from being able to do something else that you're more passionate or more energetic doing, and you can do that better than putting your energy in this thing that you may not be able to do as well because you're not excited or energetic about it. And the other thing you may want to consider is, are you saying yes to a lot of things? Because you can say no, it's an option to say no to the things that is going to waste your time. And another really good strategy is to start your day by doing the things that you really want and love to do immediately. So if you'd like to read, then you can wake up and start reading. If you'd like to journal, wake up and start journaling. Wake up and start doing exercise or yoga. Wake up and start cleaning your house. Whatever it is that you feel like you really want to do that day, do it first. And get that done with. And sometimes I wake up and what I really like to do with regards to my day is to make YouTube videos and to make script for it. And I would do that first, and then I would do all the other stuff later, like all the admin stuff and all the unnecessary stuff that I don't quite like to do for the channel. You get the idea. The third thing that you can do with Saturn in the 6th house, or Saturn in Virgo, or Capricorn ruling the 6th house, is to give good service. The best kind of service that anyone in the world can give, this is not just for Saturn in the 6th house, but for anyone, is to use your skills to its full potential, is to master your skill. Your skill is the best service you can give. Efficiency is not just about getting more things done in a short period of time, but efficiency is also about doing something that other people can't do as well as you can. And that is when you utilize your skills and your talents. So in order to master your skill, the first thing you can do, I would recommend, is to consider what this mastery looks like. Visualize it. What does it mean for you to master whatever skills you have? And then what you can do is to deconstruct the skill and take its different parts and make it a habit. So, if your skill is, for example, let's say you want to master cooking, okay? Deconstruct the skills. What skills do you need in order to be able to cook really well? So multitasking is really important for cooking, first of all, and maybe, sampling different types of food is important. And what else are the different smaller skill sets, sub-skills? And then use each of these little sub-skills and make it a habit by using the 21-90 rule. So let's say that you want to master multitasking first, so you can cook better. Do a bit of multitasking every day for 21 days. If you do something, consecutively for 21 days, it becomes a habit. So you can practice, for example, brushing your teeth, watching a video, and reading a book at the same time. This is just an example. Do that every day for 21 days, and after that, do it for another 90 days, and it becomes a habit. This is kind of like, an example, guys, from my own life is, for example, with astrology, right? I wanted to master skills of astrology, so one of the skills of astrology is that you have to have a well of knowledge of all things astrological. So it became a habit of mine to, for example, when I'm commuting to work, to do research of astrology on my phone. And it becomes a habit now because I do it every day. It becomes a habit now that whenever I'm not doing anything, I'm researching astrology. And then you build up the knowledge like that. That's what I'm trying to say here, guys. And then after you've been practicing this skill for a while, you can become humbly confident about it, meaning that you show it off to people around you, but at the same time you keep in mind that you're not yet there, that there's still so much more to learn and so much more to master, but you have to show it to other people to gain a sense of self-confidence and how far you have come in mastering this skill. The fourth tip that I have for Saturn in the 6th house, Saturn in Virgo, or Capricorn ruling the 6th house, is to appreciate the simple things. Because Saturn in, the 6th house, having Saturn in the 6th house can really make you want to be sort of maybe even like a perfectionist at work. So the understanding, in my Saturn in the 6th house video, I talk about the process. I talk about a tree that has fruits, but what's important is the little process and the inner work of that tree, which you can't really see. But if it doesn't happen, then you don't get the fruits at all. So the little things make up the big things. The little things make up the reward, make up the fruits. That's why the little things are very important, and it's important to appreciate that. And when you appreciate the little things, you will see that there's a lot of things out there that's out of your control, that you can't see and you can't do anything about it. Because, you know, if you think about the analogy of the tree giving fruits, I mean, you can't really do much to control the process of the tree. You can probably water it, give it fertilizer, but that's all you can do, put it in the right kind of weather and environment. But at the end of the day, the tree is working by itself. And that is beautiful. The imperfection of not being able to control something seemingly insignificant that actually makes up the big things is just beautiful. Because being able to appreciate the simple things will lead to a lot of contentment, which leads to happiness. Happiness is not about being excited for something. Excitement is not happiness. Happiness is contentment. If you can be easily impressed by things, and it starts by being easily impressed by all the little things, if you can be easily impressed by a lot of little things, you will ultimately cultivate that sense of contentment, which leads to happiness. And the fifth and last thing that I would recommend for Saturn in the 6th house is to go on a silent meditation retreat. I think that this can help, number 4, can help with appreciating the simple things. Because, like I said, this placement is infamous for being a workaholic. And it's really important to be in silent meditation for a large period of time, because first of all, it really lessens anxiety and like the tensions in the body. It also gives you a new perspective on the mind-body-soul connection. That when you are working your body and your mind, your soul is not at peace. Once you quiet down the body and the mind, the soul is at peace. And it really allows you to sort of listen more to your body, when you're not always talking, because when you're talking, it's coming from the mind. When you're not talking, you're listening to the body. And of course, it's also a great way to detox, helps you improve, your mental concentration, which then can help you improve your skills of prioritizing, which then leads to not wasting time, having better time management, all of the other beautiful things that comes with having Saturn in the 6th house. So some books that I think is going to be great for Saturn in this house is What's Your Parachute? This is a very famous book. It's probably one of the best books out there when it comes to choosing the right career for you, because this book really gets you to zoom in on your skills and which skills of yours is most important and strongest in you, and it really gets you to zoom in on your life purpose in general, and sort of your inner process, so that you can zoom in on the right career for yourself instead of dispersing your time and energy on service or efficiency. It's not really effective. The next book is The Signature of All Things by Elizabeth Gilbert. Okay, so in this book, the main character, she really likes plants, especially moss. She goes into very detail of describing her appreciation for a moss. And I think that it's really interesting, when you're trying to think about appreciating simple things. So this is a great book for Saturn in the 6th house. Movies that I think really resonates with having this Saturn placement is Morning Glory, starring Rachel McAdams, because it is a movie about a woman who is very much a workaholic, but she learns throughout the movie how to sort of be less of a workaholic and find more happiness in her job. And another movie, this is sort of more on a spiritual level of having Saturn in the 6th house, is Amongst White Clouds. It's kind of a documentary about this guy who sort of who goes to China, and he observes and discovers and explores the lives of the Buddhist hermit monks there. This film is really about stepping out of your current perspective into another perspective of discovering that mind, body, soul connection. So that's it, guys, for my tips for Saturn in the 6th house. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you haven't. If you already subscribed, then thank you very much for coming along. I do birth chart readings, synastry, and relationship readings. All the information is on my website. You can check that out. And I'll be back in the next video with tips for Saturn in the 7th house. Have a beautiful day, beautiful souls. Bye.